For years, Pakistan's F-16 was presented as the crown jewel of its Air Force. During Operation Sindoor, however, some of those prized fighters appear to have faced a simple problem. They could not comfortably shoot far enough. Now, a retired Pakistan Air Force officer has publicly admitted the limitation. Air Commodore Kaiser Tufail says the F-16's beyond visual range weapons were outclassed by longer range missiles available to the other side, forcing Pakistan to hold the aircraft back from some missions. If true, that is a remarkable admission. So what exactly went wrong? Why were Pakistan's J-10Cs better placed? And what should India learn from it? A retired Pakistan Air Force Air Commodore, a former fighter, pilot and a well-known commentator on air warfare has acknowledged that Pakistan faced a serious problem with its F-16 fleet during Operation Sindoor. The issue was not the aircraft itself, it was the missile it carried. Pakistan's F-16s largely relied on the American AIM-120C-5 AMRAAM for beyond visual range combat. BVR simply means shooting at an enemy aircraft before the pilots can see each other with their own eyes. Modern air combat increasingly begins there, and range matters enormously. Air Commodore Kaiser Tufail's argument was that the AMRAAM available to Pakistan was no longer competitive enough against longer range weapons operating in the same battle space. That changed how Pakistan could use the F-16. The F-16 remains a capable fighter. Pakistan has operated it for decades. Its pilots know the aircraft well. Its radar maneuverability and multi-role capabilities remain useful. But a fighter is only as dangerous as the weapons it can employ. Imagine two boxers. One can punch from 2 meters away, the other can somehow punch from 4. The first boxer may be excellent, but he has to move into his opponent's striking range before he can hit back. That is the problem BVR missiles create. If an enemy aircraft can launch first from significantly farther away, the shorter range fighter begins the engagement defensively. It must evade, turn away, jam or retreat instead of attacking. This is where China enters the story. Pakistan's newer J-10C-E fighters carry the Chinese PL-15E long-range air-to-air missile. The export version is generally credited with a range well beyond older AMRAAM variants available to Pakistan. That gave the J-10 a role the F-16 could not perform as comfortably. Long-range interception, standoff air combat, the ability to threaten enemy aircraft without closing the distance as much. During the May 2025 India-Pakistan confrontation, Reuters reported that Pakistani J-10 fighters armed with Chinese missiles were involved in air combat against Indian aircraft. India has disputed several Pakistani claims about losses during that confrontation. India was not fighting with short arms either. The Rafale carries the Meteor. Meteor is one of the world's most capable beyond visual range air-to-air missiles. Its advantage is not simply maximum range. It uses a ramjet propulsion system that allows it to retain energy deep into the engagement. That creates a large no-escape zone. In simple language, an enemy aircraft has less opportunity to outrun the missile after it is fired. India is also expanding the indigenous Astra family. Astra Mk1 is already operational. Longer range variants are being developed to push Indian fighters farther into the BVR contest. The lesson is clear. Modern air superiority is no longer simply Rafale versus J-10 or Sukhoi versus F-16. It is radar plus missile plus electronic warfare plus data. This is where the headline needs caution. Reports say the range disadvantage forced Pakistan to restrict or hold back F-16 operations. That does not necessarily mean every Pakistani F-16 sat inside a hardened shelter throughout Operation Sindoor. There is no independently verified evidence establishing that. Pakistan could still use F-16s for defensive patrols, point defense, or missions where long-range engagement was not required. The more defensible conclusion is narrower. Pakistan apparently judged that putting F-16s into certain long-range air combat situations created an unacceptable disadvantage. That itself is significant. A frontline fighter does not need to be destroyed to become ineffective. Sometimes the enemy only needs to make commanders afraid to expose it. For India, there is no reason for triumphalism. There is a lesson instead. Range advantages do not last forever. China already fields advanced long-range missiles. Pakistan has access to Chinese weapons. India therefore cannot assume that Meteor will permanently dominate every BVR engagement. That means accelerating Astra Mk2 and longer range variants, improving airborne early warning coverage, building better electronic warfare, expanding secure data links, and increasing fighter numbers. At the end of the day, what matters most is who sees the enemy first, who shares the information fastest, who fires quickest, and whose missile remains dangerous for longer. Because in modern air combat, the most powerful fighter may never get close enough to use its power. Sometimes the aircraft that wins is simply the one whose missile reaches farther.
The old rules are breaking. Alliances are shifting.
Apologize again to the victims of the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
Wars are redrawing maps. Oil routes can shake economies overnight. One election in America can impact markets in Mumbai.
No tax on tips.
One move by China can alter the balance in Asia. One conflict in West Asia can hit every Indian household. This is no longer a distant story. This is our story. Your story. Because for the first time in decades, India is not watching from the sidelines. India is rising. India is negotiating. India is balancing rivals. India is building military strength. India is shaping trade routes. India is becoming central to the new global order. And yet, most global news is still told through someone else's lens. Washington's lens, Beijing's lens, London's lens. But where is India's lens? Where is the platform that explains the world from our perspective? Welcome to India's Axis, a new destination for geopolitics, strategy and power seen through India's eyes, from Neighborhood Watch to the biggest global stories that matter to you. Why tensions in the Taiwan Strait matter to India, how one move by China can affect India's security, what turmoil in Pakistan means for regional stability, how Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bhutan shape India's neighborhood, why oil choke points can hit your wallet, how wars abroad can reshape India's security. This is not noise. This is not shouting. This is not recycled headlines. This is sharp, intelligent storytelling, daily explainers, war room analysis, strategic conversations, because news is everywhere, but perspective is rare, and in the age of confusion, clarity is power. Axis is for the audience that wants more than headlines. The axis of global power is shifting. India is at the center of that shift. It's time the world was explained accordingly, to understand the world through India's strategic lens. Subscribe now.